You know what's coming. Just like I did in the lesson, you're going to be sketching in this exercise. We're going to give you a list of 4 different objects to pick from that you're going to sketch, reiterate on, translate into Illustrator, and then recreate digitally. Those 4 objects are going to be a rocket ship, a house, a boat, or a drone. And between those 4, you should have lots of different varieties and plenty of space to explore. And feel free to be a little bit loose with those. If you want to do something that's not technically a house, but it is some type of a building, that's fine. Or if you want to combine 2 of them and make a houseboat, be my guest. I want you to have fun with it. Once you decide on the object that you want to create, you're going to need to look for reference photos. So create a Pinterest account if you don't already have one, and then build a board with a bunch of reference photos in it, just like I did. And you don't have to search for those reference photos on Pinterest. There probably will be great results on Pinterest for whatever you're looking for, but you can also look anywhere online. So go to Google Images if you need to search for your object. And for things like the drone, you might actually find real product photography of those objects. And a lot of times they take pictures at multiple angles, so you can really pick a perspective that you think is going to be really interesting for your design. So explore as much as you can, find as many great references as you can, and then look over your board and decide which one you think would be a good reference point to draw your sketch from. And you can sketch these however you want. I did 1 sketch per page on a big 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, but you could do 6 thumbnails on a Moleskine notebook, and that's totally fine too. What's important is how you get that to your TA. So we're going to need you to take a picture or scan this in however you want, but then bring that photo into Photoshop, and we need to convert it to a 16:9 aspect ratio. To do that, just grab the crop tool and then take a look at this little menu up here. This is where we have some presets, and this section right here is for ratios. So we have a 16:9 ratio built in, so just click on that. And you'll see that the bounding box of your crop tool is going to snap to a 16:9 ratio. Now I could just bring my bounding box in so that it only contains that white page and reposition it so that it fits my sketch, and that works just fine. But if yours maybe wasn't drawn in a landscape mode, or it's not fitting very nicely in that 16:9 box, that's no problem either. All you have to do is leave it at 16:9 and then potentially just expand this out. So if I needed to get the entire height of my image in there, I could do it like that. And it's just going to make the background filled with whatever your background color is over here. No problem with that at all, having that extra blank space. The important thing is that it's 16:9 when you upload it to the Homework Locker. And just to give you a refresher on the perspective crop tool that's underneath the crop tool, you can use this to correct not only the perspective, but also automatically level out your photo. So this sketch was at an angle, but if I just click and drag from the top left corner to the bottom right corner of the page, and then I reposition these points roughly in the corners of the pages. I'm kind of correcting for the page being lifted off the surface there. Then I'll just bring these down a little bit in on the page so I don't have any of that black cutting board. Click the check mark. There we go. Perspective is corrected. And then I can switch back to my regular crop tool, click once, and then reposition. And there we go. I've got my 16:9 crop ready to go. This is exactly how we want you to submit your frames for the Homework Locker. And you can put multiple sketches on the same frame if that's the way you drew them, as long as there's enough detail, if they're large enough for the TA to actually see what was going on. Or you can just export one at a time. That's no problem either. Remember, when you transfer this over into Illustrator, if you want to correct the background to be pure white, all you have to do is open up Curves by pressing Command M, bring up these whites so that that background is pure white, maybe darken the blacks a little bit. There you go. Select all with Command A, copy it, and paste it into an Illustrator document. Then you should start thinking about the artistic direction you want to go with for your illustration. So go back onto Pinterest or somewhere else online and research some actual artistic styles and add some more references to your reference board. Once you have something in mind that you think is going to work well for your object, then move on to creating it in Illustrator. And it's totally up to you what style you want to do it in. You can also play around with that and just try different things. Try things that you'd never have before and see what you come up with. And if you really want to try something interesting, you could bring your artwork after it's been created in Illustrator into Photoshop and add some texture to it using maybe the Kyle Webster brushes to give a much more organic feel or a painterly style. It's totally up to you how far you want to push this, and don't feel bad if you just want to stay in Illustrator like I did and keep it a more simple vector looking style. Now, here's your turn-in list. First of all, you're going to be doing your sketching. So remember, you can do that as big or as small as you want, put as many on a page as you want, as long as you crop them to 16 by 9. I would recommend that you do at least 3 to 5, but if you need to do 12, do 12. Explore as many sketches as you need until you're happy with what you have. Include all of those in your Homework Locker upload. Also, make sure that you're posting that to the Facebook group and share your drawings with other people. Try to get over that fear of any kind of insecurity you have regarding your artistic ability. Chances are your fellow classmates probably are having that same issue of insecurity. So just get it out there, try to get over that fear, and share what you've made. You're really going to be surprised by what you can come up with if you just try to sketch and put the pencil to the paper. So don't be afraid to share that in the Facebook group. Once you've built your reference board on Pinterest, copy a link for that board and paste it as a comment when you're uploading to the Homework Locker. That way your TA can see where you were pulling references from. And remember, that board should also include the artistic direction references that you pulled from, whatever you're using as inspiration for what you want to do artistically. Then you can convert your sketch into an illustration in Illustrator and take it as far as you want. Keep it the clean vector look like I did, or bring it into Photoshop, add a bunch of texture. It's totally up to you. But you should be uploading one final completed frame, and make sure you include your source project files with that as you upload everything to the Homework Locker, and then also share it on the Facebook group. All right, I know this is going to be an exercise that stretches a lot of you. It definitely stretched me, but when you actually put the pencil to the paper, you're going to be really surprised with what you come out with. Good luck.